Welcome to Will I Like It, a video series dedicated to helping you figure out if you'll like this video game. This is not a review, but a breakdown of the factors that will help you determine if this game is for you or not. We think reviews are great and fun to do, but not particularly helpful. Review scores are typically bad indicators for if you, as an individual, will actually enjoy playing a game. In this video, we won't give this game a score. Instead, we'll give you the tools to figure out if you, personally, will enjoy it.
Hey, Godmother. Is this like the old
XCOM Chimera Squad is the third game in the XCOM series from Firaxis Games, also creators of the world-renowned Civilization series. It's a single-player, turn-based, tactical strategy game. What does that mean? In XCOM, that means you take turns performing actions on what is essentially a game board, with tiled spaces on the map representing places you can move your squad. From those spaces, you can perform certain actions, like firing your squad's weapons, performing fun abilities like takedowns, or psychic powers. XCOM has employed this tactical style gameplay in each of its games, and while there are other games that have a tactical experience, XCOM is the undisputed king of this genre. The amount of granularity you have over the combat situations is very fine, allowing you to be very strategic in the way that you attack enemies, position each of your squad members, and accomplish the objective of any given encounter. These encounters are engaged in and prepared for in the command screen. This is where you look at the overworld map. In this game, your overworld is called City 31. Select which missions you will take on, customize your characters, buy new gear, and select research that grants your squad access to upgrades and new utilities. The experience of this game is all about being the commander, and the game grants you finite control of all aspects of your squad, who's in your squad, how you equip them, what missions you engage in and when, and many other things. XCOM Chimera Squad is the cops version of the XCOM games. This is a unique sci-fi, post-apocalyptic world set in the aftermath of the XCOM squad's victory over the Advent, the alien invaders in the first two games. Rather than defending Earth from invasion like in XCOM 1, or subverting alien occupation in XCOM 2, you're cops fighting crime in a new world where reformed aliens, hybrids, and humans live together in the setting of City 31. The police force post-war approach to the story, while still serious, makes the game much more lighthearted than its predecessors in terms of the character interactions, dialogue, and overall feeling. Agents are mostly voice-acted and have interesting backgrounds and individual personalities. These backstories reveal interesting tidbits about the unique sci-fi world of XCOM. I enjoyed learning more about the world through these backstories. One of the agents I selected, Axiom, is a reformed big brute alien that participated in the invasion of Earth, but is now fighting for New Earth in the post-invasion world. You don't need to have played XCOM 1 or 2 to understand the world, however, you'll likely appreciate the setting more if you have. But if you haven't, this is an interesting sci-fi setting that's worth taking part in. The primary driver of the world is the conflict between the XCOM and post-war militant groups. Throughout the game, you will be asked to select one group at a time to investigate, which moves the story along and reveals more of this interesting world. As I mentioned before, XCOM is the undisputed king of the tactical combat gameplay genre. As such, the formula is pretty tight at this point. Moving characters around, performing actions, shooting enemies, and everything else feels well designed and clean. The big new mechanic that differs from prior XCOM games, breaching, is satisfying and adds a fun element to mix up the combat. Rushing in, performing slow-motion kills on surprise enemies makes for great gameplay moments. While there have been reported bugs, I didn't experience any in my 15-plus hour playthrough. Like the XCOM games before it, there is an element of randomness to combat encounters that can be quite frustrating. When you attack any enemy, there is a probability of hitting the enemy that shows up on the screen. This number indicates your likelihood to hit, so if you select the enemy to shoot them and your chance to hit is, say, 50%, then you have a 50% chance to miss them. The frustrating part of this system is that it can sometimes be hard to understand, meaning you can be 2 feet from an enemy and still only graze them.
Heading there.
XCOM Chimera Squad is a challenging game, but it comes in a much less daunting package than its predecessors. Rather than 100+ hours of content, there's something like 15 to 20 hours here, depending on how you play the game. There are also a myriad of difficulty settings that can be adjusted according to how much effort you want to put in the game, including how much health you regain after each encounter. If you want a super challenging experience, you can play in Iron Man mode, where all choices and deaths are permanent. If you want a lighter experience, you can enable health regen after each encounter and save as much as you want. This game still requires a moderate to high level of investment to play. It's not a casual experience and will take some hours to understand all the systems, how combat encounters work, and how to optimize your squad successfully. You just get to decide how punishing that learning experience is. If all that sounds daunting, take heart in the fact that because this game comes in a smaller package, being 15 to 20 hour game instead of a 100-hour game, it's currently priced on Steam at only $10 and a full retail price of $20. Even at $20, this game provides incredible value. Okay, let's wrap up here. You'll like XCOM Chimera Squad if you enjoy strategy games and taking turns, and like taking the time to think deeply about each combat encounter. You're interested in aliens and unique sci-fi settings. While not as extensive as Civilization or other games like it, you're okay with spending several hours learning the ins and outs of the game. And you want all the above factors in a smaller package than a full-blown 100-hour XCOM game. If any of the above resonates with you, you'll probably have a great time with XCOM Chimera Squad. Thanks for watching. If you want more thoughtful conversation about video games, tune into our podcast, The Pre-Order Bonus. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major podcast services. You can also watch us live, me, Roxback, or my podcast co-host ChipTip18 on Mixer. You can find links to all those in the description below.